Hey, I'm Scott with Construction Ready. Today we're going to build a domino, which is a very beginning type project, and it takes 7 inches of wood, and I'm using a pine 1x4 piece of wood. Any chance you get, you need to cut boards a little longer so that the kids can measure and practice their measuring skills, and then you can cut them later, and they'll see you cutting them. And if you can set up a saw station where they can use a hand saw to cut, they can do it themselves as well. All right, so we have several drill bits, and on the domino, to make these circular bottoms, I have used a regular drill bit. It's got a point on it, but when it spins, it'll make a curved, nice bottom on the rounded bottom on the drill place locations. This one is a very sharp bit. It's more for like drilling for electrical wires, as is this one's called a spade bit. It cuts really fast and it drags you through the wood. This one creates a flat bottom on the when it drills. It's called a Forstner bit, but it does have a little tip that goes in with the guide. Here's a normal bit that goes into a drill driver, snaps in. This one is actually a concrete bit. And then you have the screwdriver bits that go into this little device, which you get in your kit. And for instance, this one attaches a Phillips screwdriver head for screws like that. There is a hex head screwdriver. This one is actually square on the end. And this one is called is a bit to offset when you drill it into the board. It's got a bit within another bit. This bit makes a hole for a screw, plus it insets the screw so that the head does not scratch like on furniture or whatever you're using. It doesn't stick out. So on the domino, I cut a 14 1/8 inch board. Each board is going to be 7, so the kids have to measure to 7 inches and mark with a V. Then use your speed square, sliding down the top of the board, putting your point to the point, touch it, and go from the top and down. So now we have 2 dominoes. This will be cut. So this is what we have. When each student will have this. Now there's a lot of different dominoes. So what I made was a domino template with all the certain dominoes. This I would call a 6-2 domino. I'm doing a 5-1 for an example with you. And the way I did it was I measured, when you have a square, you can do a 45-degree angle across, and it will mark exactly where the center of each of your domino sides is. The middle will be cut with a hand saw later on, and students can do that on a hand miter box. But they only need to go down about 1/8 of an inch. They don't need to cut through the whole board. But it gives them the ability to use a saw and not have to cut through the whole board. So if you use the template, you'll cut out each one, you'll tape it onto your board, and then the students can mark through each hole spot location into their board like I've done here. So if you look, I have made a hole right where everywhere the drill will be drilling. And the best way to do this is with a drill press, which is a tool that you can set the depth so you don't go too deep. But I'm going to show you today with a regular drill, and you just cannot push down hard when you're drilling the holes. So I'm going to clamp this up and show you how to drill for the 5-1 domino. I have my drill bit here. It's going to make a rounded edge. If we look at this domino, each one is the spot where we go. So the students will be putting it into the hole. It helps guide you. Put your hand on top, trigger, and spin, slightly pushing in. All you need is a little round circle for each hole. As you can see, I was close to my clamp, but a clamp acts as extra hands for you so you can safely. The clamp doesn't complain if you hit it with a drill or whatever. Your fingers are precious, so keep them out of the way. Always use a clamp when you're drilling, doing anything electric sanding or anything with a jigsaw. Always clamp down to give yourself extra hands and stability. So I'm going to take this out, and then we just sand this with the grain. I'm not going to finish all these, but now I have 2 dominoes. You can make a class set. They can play dominoes for a while, and then you can send each student one home. And they probably will have to make 2 to make a class set each student. So the domino project is a good beginner project. Easy, 1 piece of wood. Students can practice measuring to the middle, using a handsaw and a miter box to cut across the center, using a drill, using a template, marking with a hammer each spot, and then using the drill and clamp. So you're using about 10 to 12 tools on this simple little project, which should be your goal, to get these tools in the students' hands as much as they can right away. They'll learn how to use them. They just are going to get excited about being able to use real tools for a real project that they can actually play with in their class if you make a class set.